think probably the common thread among the artists I talk to on this show is their existence in the space that Duke Ellington would call beyond category, because that's kind of what's interesting. And I was here at the Blue Note at the first night of your residency, and I mean, that was the thing that struck me, is that you were so fluid, you're moving all over the place, and that was so clearly reflected in who was here in that audience.
My audience is, it's colorful. It's all ages, it's all colors, it's all walks of life, you know, and it's really cool. I feel like every time I do a show, it's like a We Are the World moment, you know, we're bringing people together that wouldn't normally be together at a show, you know what I mean? Because people have different taste in music, and especially in different ages as well, and all that stuff, you know. So it's great when people come together and they can just sit in one accord and agree on something and enjoy. So yeah, it's great.
Which is actually the problem with, you know, this sort of insistence on genres, because it just keeps people outside of rooms that they would like to be in. Yeah. They just don't even know about those rooms.
Absolutely.
You've kind of grown up in this room.
I did, yeah. I've been here. Yeah, I think we're just talking. My first gig here was like 2004. Yeah, 2004. Almost 20 years.
And you've grown a huge career in the meantime.
Absolutely, yeah. My first time here at the Blue Note was for a jam session when I was in college. So really, my first time here was 97.
Okay.
I moved here from Houston to New York for college, and Blue Note used to have like a jam session every week, and I would come here every week for the jam session.
Like an open mic kind of a jam
Exactly.
session? Oh, that's cool.
You would just come here and call songs and play with the musicians in the city, and that's how the musicians kind of learn who's who and who's really good and who's not, and all that stuff. Like, all the clubs will have jam sessions different nights, and all the musicians would flock there, you know. So I've been coming here for that long.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a kid to, like, you are such a known quantity that there is now an official month called Robtober here.
Robtober.
Which is now like my life goal, is to have a month. Named after me somewhere. I don't care where.
Right. Exactly.
But tell me about how this place has changed. Because I think, you know, it's such an interesting club. It's so historic and iconic, and it has this reputation of really upholding like the old school tradition. I mean, Sarah Vaughan played here, and Dizzy Gillespie and Oscar Peterson, but also like always looking at jazz as a forward-moving art form.
And what I love about Blue Note is too, they're not stuck with it just being jazz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've always been very open to all styles of music. You know, and which is great, because then when you have more than one style of music at a club, then more people know about the club. When you know what I mean? When you have just one style, only those people who like that one style of music are going to know about that club, and they're going to go there. Yeah. But here's all kind of traffic here, because they have hip hop shows, R&B shows, gospel shows, Cuban music, this, that, everything, African music. It's all over the place, which is what it should be. You know what I mean? Because music is every music is inspired by other things. You know, it's all one family, really. You know what I mean? It's one big house, one huge house with a bunch of rooms in it. You know what I mean? So
not just inspired, but like literally like connected, intertwined.
Absolutely. So much connection. Absolutely.
It's so weird to me, you know, from my vantage point in the classical world, sometimes when I go into a jazz club, I feel like I'm at a chamber music concert. That's how much the audience seems the same, you know, and like very, how would I say, constrained.
Yeah. Very constrained. Don't want to make any noise. Want to be quiet. And you know, and it gives you a lot of clubs give you the sense of, you know, this music. It's done. It's this music. This book is closed in this music. You know what I mean? And this, like, it's a museum. Let's come pay homage to the music because it died.
Yes.
You know, and that's not the case for jazz.
No.
You know, it's not the case. And Blue Note, you know, there's pictures of all the ancestors, the amazing ancestors that came before me, but there's also pictures of me and other people in my age and younger around this club. So it lets you know it's very much alive. Yeah. At the same time, we're paying homage to the history, but we're not held back by the history. And that's the important part.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
And speaking of fixed canons, you know, this classical thing where people have really like decided arbitrarily where to draw the line. Yeah. But it's that too. It's like always either reimagining, reinterpreting what's already there, or building something new. And you've done that even with classical music.
Yeah, I think it's important to build off what's been there because then it gives a foundation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gives you some sort of foundation, especially for people who need to hear that. There are people who need to hear the history in what you're doing. If you skip towards the too far in the future or too far in the present, then they're like, I don't hear the history in it. You know what I mean? So I like building off of the history. I like rearranging songs people know already. You know, all that kind of stuff, because then you get a glimpse of some new people don't know the old song I bring back. You know, so they're learning what this old song was, and the people who know what the old song is learning what my style is, and you know, kind of how I look at music by the way I arrange it, because they know what it sounded like before. But once Glasper touched it, now I know what his vibe and what that means. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, was always the point, right? And I mean, I think that anyone who's ever written a song saw that in its future.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You have said that, I forget the exact wording, but you've talked about how jazz is meant to reflect the times that it lives in. And I think that what you were talking about was this evolution, this musical evolution. But when I read those words, they resonated with me deeply on sort of a global level, because these are hard times. And I'm wondering how you see your music reflecting, the world that we are living in now.
I mean, thanks to social media, I can easily see how my music is inspiring people and comforting people. You know, I literally have people. I can go in my phone and show you people that say, your music is comforting me right now. I'm under my bed. I hear bombs. Like hearing that. Yeah. That's what you do. That's why I do what I do. I literally have people telling me that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in their worst moment, when they don't know if they're gonna make it, they don't know if they're gonna be alive through the next minute, they have on the headphones and listening to me. You know, that's what do you say to that? You know, so that tells me all I need to know. That's why I keep doing what I do, no matter what people have to say about it. You know.
Yeah. That's so amazing that you say that. I just heard an interview with Joan Baez, and she was talking about the role that music played in the 60s. You know, and how like they were on the front lines. They were putting themselves in harm's way, and they were marching, and they were taking all kinds of risks. And she was really tough on our generation about, how we're not there. Like, we're not there. Yep. And it's worse than frustrating. I'm so confused by what we do call activism, and how we call activism the reposting of things on Instagram that we haven't even read carefully. They were just like passing these things along.
Absolutely.
And I know you got to work with Harry Belafonte, and I love what you just said about that impact. And I guess I would say that that's my activism too, is just knowing that what I put out is intentional and meaningful, and is having meaning.
I feel like what I do has its own way of impacting people, you know, impacting the world, and like I said, maybe making people feel and making them feel optimistic. You know what I mean? Because music has throughout history changed people, changed minds, changed hearts. Music is activism. You know what I mean? Like you said, there's so many people like the Nina Simones, and there's so many. The Stevie Wonders.
That whole generation.
Generation,
and the generations before, really.
Absolutely. And we're so lazy now because we're standing on the shoulders of them, and they did all the work. You know what I mean, to make so much change. Yeah. And now people that are in the position they're in, literally because of them, and because of people like Harry Belafonte. Because of them, we're in this situation. But the people want to say, though, it's not my, it's not. I don't have to be a role model. I don't have to do that. That's not what I'm, obligated to do. And it's like, yes, you actually are. If you just got paid, if you're able to walk into a place and get paid for doing what you do through the front door, and not get dog sicked on you or water hosed, or just killed in general. Yeah, you do owe something. Yeah. Because you didn't get there on your own. You know what I mean? So you automatically owe something. That's not that's real. And and we just got lazy and entitled. And it's and like you said, this thumb activism
all day, every day, right?
Yeah, people do that.
I did my thing today.
Like no, you didn't. No, you did not. So it's, that's a hard one.
Mm-hmm. I have a question about your album Covered. I was listening to it because I like to listen to whole albums.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you've got this track with Mr. Belafonte.
Yeah.
Followed by a track that features your son and other kids. And these are both songs that are talking specifically about the experience of being black and male in America and the really, the terrible parts of that. If you want to talk about those two songs. But my question was whether it was intentional to put those two songs back to back because you have this incredible generational span and like historical span.
Absolutely. I try to have some kind of, I'm not necessarily the most vocal person when it comes to different issues and social issues or anything. I'm not the one that's going to be at the mic like, listen, I feel like I like to try to do it in a way where it doesn't feel like you're getting preached at, because a lot of people, when things are happening in the world, they don't want to turn on music that's also talking about the things happening in the world. A lot of times people want to escape that. Yeah. But at the same time, I like to make sure my records have a purpose and make sure they speak to the times. Every record speaks to the times. Yeah. The time that I'm in, I have to document it, or else I'm erasing history. Right. If I don't pay attention to the present, I'm literally erasing history.
And like yourself.
And myself. Yeah, exactly. So it's important that I do that. So I just try to always have some sort of message within the music, so it's not overwhelming, but it's there. You know what I mean? I got that from Stevie Wonder. He's the best at making, having real issues in songs, but you just love the song. And you listen to it over and over again.
Right. No, that's so right.
And then you realize, oh, wait a minute.
Wait, I just heard a protest song.
I just heard a protest song. Like, Happy Birthday's a protest song. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff. So it's like, he's the king. To me, he's the king of that,
I got to tell you, when I heard that song, when I heard Harry Belafonte's voice, because it's spoken, and when the track begins, I think I gasped and then I wept, and it was so strong for me. I think if I had to pick one artist who meant so much to my parents, in terms of all of these things, that's who it was. And I'll tell you a story. When my son was really little, he was really struggling with being a brown boy, and one night I was putting him to bed. We were like lying in his bed, and I just put on some old Harry Belafonte movies, and he made me play those clips over and over again, and just saw, it was really like everything that he was talking about in that song, the possibility that there is to make the most of yourself.
And Harry is so poetic. Like, he was just talking. That wasn't a poem he wrote or something he wrote. I had the privilege of going to his house one day, and we put our computers together and just played each other music back to back. He wanted to know what I was playing, what I was listening to, turning him on to different artists, blah, 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 blah. And he was playing me stuff, calypso stuff, and all this other stuff. We're just going back and forth. I stayed at his crib for like 7-8 hours, and I just had him talk. I said, say anything. It just, I forget exactly what I said, but that's what he said. That he just started talking.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the first words are.
Oh, the first words are, "Let me tell you who I am."
Yes.
I'm the one that your bullet missed.
Yes.
I'm the, oh man.
I'm the one who got over.
I'm the one who got over. Yeah.
And now there are two things I'm jealous of. I'm jealous of your month, and your time with. I recently had your friend Christian McBride on the show, and we were talking about this sense of community that I see in the among jazz artists. The sense of like really family, and how there's this like really distinct lineage. So I'm wondering, you are moving around in so many different circles. Does this just mean that your community is huge, or do you feel like you have to shapeshift a little bit as you, depending on who you're hanging out with?
You mean as far as
do you use the word cats when you're hanging out with your hip hop friends?
Right. Actually, yeah. These are the cats. A lot of you'll be surprised how much the hip hop world has stolen from the jazz world. Okay. The hip hop, the jazz cats were the first cool cats. You know what I mean? Like, so they took a lot of the swag from the jazz cats anyway. So they know what's up.
That's fair.
But yeah, no, all the cats, musicians, we call each other cats. And I don't have to change. I don't change from one, like talking to jazz cats this way, talk to the hip hop cats this way. talk to the gospel cats this way. It's the same. It's all the same.
Same hoodie, same everything.
Yeah, same everything. I'm always the same I'm like water in that way. Like, you know, I can shape shift if I need to, you know what I mean? But I'm always, you know, always the same.
I know that.
Because I'm a mixture of all of them. Yeah. Of all of it.
Yeah. It's so fun.
Absolutely.
You have fun.
I literally have fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
I have fun. The reason I feel like I am a mixture, and I'm a true mixture of everything, it's not because I'm a fan of that. Because a lot of people they actually do one thing. Like, oh, I'm actually an R&B musician, but I like jazz.
Yeah.
I like hip hop. And just because you're a fan of something and you like it doesn't mean now you know how to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to, with anything, you have to learn it. And you can't learn it with other people trying to learn it. You have to learn it with the people who do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I want to learn Japanese, I need to learn it from people who speak Japanese.
Right.
I'm not going to learn Japanese from a person who's not Japanese and doesn't speak Japanese very well, but they're learning to. You know what I mean? You know, I need to. So when I learned how to play R&B, I was playing R&B with masters of that, the master musicians and the master artists of R&B. Same thing with hip hop. I learned playing hip hop. I was sitting across from Jay Dilla in his living room, in his studio, playing hip hop with Dilla for a few weeks. I used to go over to Q-Tip's house every week and make music with Q-Tip. I was playing with the Roots for years.
Yeah.
You know, like those are the people I learned how to play hip hop from. You know, playing with jazz musicians, playing with Christian McBride. He took me on the road my first time in Europe. I failed all my classes in college. Going out with McBride.
He would say that those were the best classes.
Those are literally the best classes, you know, like being out with Russell Malone and being out with Mark Whitfield and Nicholas Payton and Kenny Garrett and Terrence Blanchard and Christian McBride and Roy Hargrove and all these masters, you know, being around them and learning, you know, that's how you learn the music. That's how you really learn the music. So I've done that with all the genres, you know, so I can, and I grew up in church. I played at church, you know, the first 20 years, you know, 15 years or whatever in my lifetime. You know what I mean? So I can truly say I'm a mixture of all those things, you know, in a real way, you know?
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. This is your 5th month-long residency, 5th annual residency, and it's all over the map. It's beautiful to see. I mean, you're kind of bringing all of this stuff together in this very small stage. Absolutely. Talk to me a little bit about the process of curating. This is such a huge opportunity and really unique.
I mean, I curate half of it, and the other half is the universe completely. I always say the universe is the co-producer of everything I do, because I know what I want to happen, but at the same time, I keep it loose, because everything I want happens not going to happen. You know, it's just what it is, and I've been okay with that for a very long time, because so many cool things happen because I'm open to it and let it go. Cooler things have happened than what I thought. What my initial plan was. Right. The universe is like, I'm better. let me do my thing with it. You know, so it's cool. I curate these things. I have these different artists that are my guests, and then, you know, we kind of come in and kind of know, you know, most of the set we're gonna do, but a lot of the stuff is made up on stage. It's just going with the vibes, and then you know, I have a lot of pop-up guests that fall through, and I love putting different combinations of people together that probably would never be on stage together. You know what I mean? Just cool things like that. Like last night I had Lupe Fiasco with Samara Joy. You know, she popped up and was like, hey, come do that. You know, and it was just cool to see that. You know, like, you know, so I love having those conversations, and just creating moments is what I like. Creating snapshots, like a snapshot. Like that snapshot probably will never exist again. The exact shot, you know what I mean? So I like to do those things and make history.
Exactly,
you know?
I was going to say. Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you what do you hope is your legacy here and everywhere, but I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
right?
I just want to record my time here on Earth and try to do, you know, be as good a person as I can be, and try to help as many people as I can with my gift. You know, I just try to make my gift someone else's gift. Here's the gift to you. This was given to me.
Yeah.
That's why it's a gift.
Yeah.
And gifts are presents, and we're in the present. So it's like, hey, let's be in the present and deal with our gifts and give our gifts as presents.
Yeah. And
I'm feeling very holiday cheery, apparently. Apparently.
But also like that, you know, that's also the presence, depending on how you spell it,
Absolutely.
also becomes the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It is the future and it's history. It's all in one. Just give it time.
Yeah.